Here in the far north, on the longest days of the year, the sun never sets. They call it polar day. But on the converse side of the year, it is polar night. In the eternal light of midsummer, many develop hypomania, a functional form of mania, a flood of ideas, extreme creativity, endless energy, and a drive to succeed. Now, let us observe the behaviors that result from continuous daylight. It's 2:30 in the morning. It's still light outside. I carried this completely unremarkable rock home from the top of the mountain. I think the daylight's starting to affect me.
I think people could be deceived by themselves, the 24-hour daylight. Their bodies are just driven by this energy and they're not, being thoughtful.
The glands in our body are closely linked with the daylight that we receive. In summertime, our thyroid glands are just pumping out hormones, and that really affects our behaviors and our physiology.
An observation of my diet. The continuous daylight seems to be the only explanation for my endless appetite. It's my fourth sandwich. In the middle of the night, I've just eaten a sandwich. I've eaten 2 stir-fries of soup. I've eaten so much food today, I just keep eating more. I don't even feel hungry. I've been comparing my diet to the diet of a local woman who seems to eat quite sparse meals. This is my 6th sandwich. Modest meals. She eats modest meals. But I just can't stop eating.
From Dawson City, we will travel northward to the Arctic Circle. In Old Crow and Van Tut National Park, we will experience true polar day.
Here we have a system akin to a sundial. It will show us the trajectory that the sun takes as it circles around the northern sky. Each revolution that the sun makes is one day. We are now at 68 degrees north latitude. This central fiberglass pole was placed in the ground, and as the sun circled the sky, a shadow was cast and a wooden stick was placed at the end of each shadow as the time progressed throughout the day. The light and darkness stops being a factor, it becomes the bugs.
The mosquitoes seem to have a bit of a daily cycle as well. It cools off, they kind of disappear in the early morning and the late evenings. And then when it warms up, they seem to come out. And then the plants, it really just gives the sort of wham bam, let's grow. I mean, you have this hedysarum right here, and it's suddenly in bloom about the same time it is down south, even though spring came much, much later here.
I mean, I get the sense that most animals probably at this time of the year have a very reduced sleep cycle. The animals don't ever seem to stop. 24
hours of sunlight. It seems like the birds want to find a mate up here, and they're calling all night long. And they get a bit hoarser as the night goes on. But that's really different from down south. You don't wake up at 3 in the morning and hear birds calling down south as you do up here.
It's more energy, and the energy comes out in every way, shape, and form. More energy creatively, more energy socially, more energy sexually.
In a study conducted at Lagos University, 15 male rats were divided into 3 groups. 5 of the rats were exposed to continuous daylight for 4 weeks, 5 to continuous darkness, and the last group was exposed to balanced daylight conditions. The midnight sun rats were observed to have a whopping 41% increase in testicle weight, while the rats of darkness saw their testes shrink by 39%.
My libido would be increased because it's more daylight, like I said with the dogs, more friskiness, more activity.
I don't think that the continuous daylight affects your libido because, maybe you're more active during the summer months, but in the winter months you spend more time in bed.
Like a beauty, it's just too hard to take.
have now passed to the eve of solstice and observed the wonders that occur on the longest days of the year in the Arctic Circle.
Something's in the air. Something's in the air. Something's in the air.
Well, I guess it's the longest day of the year and things are getting a little wacky around here.
Oh, 24-hour sunlight makes people go goofy.
I didn't get to sleep till about 4 o'clock in the morning. I seem to be very tired and lethargic, and I'm going to sleep now. You just can't even get to sleep at night, and you gotta shut every freaking window in your house.
You know, if you're in a tent, good luck.
Here in the north, many of us just sleep for short little periods of time.
The sun makes me want to have a nap.
There are people up, doing construction work sometimes at midnight or 5 in the morning kind of thing. Because, if you wake up, you can, and there's nothing stopping you. It's perfectly bright out, so it's kind of funny to not have that limitation of light.
Hunting, you could hunt all night. That's a real benefit there.
Yeah, feel like super Energizer Bunny, like dee, go do all this stuff, and then crash in the fall.
A slow spiral cycling downwards from fall until spring.
Down at the health center, they have a light there. Is that supposed to help you with seasonal affective disorder?
I think in many ways it's liberating. You never have to worry about nighttime coming, because nighttime comes with things like fears and, I don't know, for me personally,
The energy that the sun gives somehow allows you to survive with a lot less sleep. But by the time winter rolls around, you're burnt out and it's time to hibernate. So it's an interesting cycle.